Come on in, Ella.
Hi.
Hi, good to see you again.
Nice to see you too.
Thanks for coming.
Do you want the door shut?
Sure.
Okay.
Have a seat wherever you're comfortable. On time as always. So how you doing today?
Good. Yeah.
Very nice.
I had like 3 tests today.
2 or 3 tests?
3.
In what class?
My history class, my Cosmos class, and I had an online test for my individual society and the individual class.
Society individuals and sociology class?
Yeah, it's really cool.
Very good.
Got a 96.
You got a 96 on it?
Yeah, I did.
How did you know you got a 96 if you just took it today?
It's online, so
Wow.
like it scores it. Yeah, it's not like it doesn't have essay questions on the online test, so it just like gives you whatever you got. So, yeah.
Not bad. So I want to do a little check-in with you, see how you're doing since last time we met. Anything good, bad? Tell me about. Give me a rundown.
Good. One of my residents wants to apply to be an RA, so I could try her recommendation. We're gonna have lunch next week, which will be cool. I met with my advisor yesterday, and I'm getting a new advisor because he won't sign off on my 2-year plan for graduating in this summer.
Really?
So, yeah, but I found a new one today. But he's like, at the beginning of the semester, he was like, yeah, that's awesome that you know that you want to do this. I'll totally sign off on that. It's awesome. And then yesterday, I met with him, and he was like, yeah, this is the stupidest thing. He used more colorful language, but he was like, this is the stupidest thing, and I don't think anyone would ever approve it. But by all means, try and find a new advisor, and they might sign you up for it. I'm like, okay. So I went, and the first person that I talked to was like, yeah. So, yeah. She's like a contingency thing. She's like, we'll have to check in every, like, once a month and make sure that I'm still doing okay. And then, like, if I'm not doing okay at, like, the withdraw time, then she'll want me to drop class. But, I mean, she's still got to sign off on it. And since I'm a pretty good student, then it'll be good.
So what did you want to do that the first advisor was so adamant about you not going through with?
Well, technically, I'm going to be taking 8 classes. But it's only 7 classes, really. Because one of them, it's a psych class, psych statistics. But once a week, it has an extra hour, and they have to put it in as an extra class, but it's only 1 extra credit. So it'll show up that it's like, you're taking 8 classes. And then I'm going to be taking my capstone class, which is like basically like the end class that like you do all your research in. He was like, if you're going to be taking 8 classes, like he wouldn't acknowledge that it wasn't normal classes. Then I don't know, because like, you're never going to have time to do anything. And I'm like, well, if you look at the schedule, I actually have, like, only 15 to 20 hours of class a week, and most people have more than that, because most of my classes are 1 day a week. So I think he was having a grumpy day, too, because I talked to somebody in the class, like, directly before I met with him, and he was apparently, like, having a really grumpy day. So, my new advisor.
But you ran this by him earlier in the year, and he said no. Or he said yes,
Yeah,
right?
at the beginning of the year, well, at the end of last year, and at the beginning of this year, because I wanted to, like, double check, make sure that, like, I wasn't getting my hopes set on something that was, like, going to be squashed. He was like, yeah, that's totally awesome, like, you're a really good student, and, like, all this, like, good stuff, and yeah, I'm definitely going to sign off on this for you. You can take these classes, and then your summer will be electives, it'll be fun. And then he was like, no. So
why do you need someone to sign off?
What do you mean?
Why do you need your advisor's permission to take classes that you want to take?
Because you're only, for the school, you're only, like, without getting special permission, like, because since I'm a really good student, I can get special permission to say that I can take an extra class, or technically it's an extra 2 classes, but the 1 class is only 1 credit, so I still call it only 1 extra class because it's literally the same class.
I've only ever heard of someone taking 6 classes in a semester.
Really? No, I've taken 7, and my oldest brother graduated from here.
Mm-hmm.
He took 8 classes one semester.
That's Sean, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Where was I going with that? Yeah. I think a lot of the reason that like they put a cap on it is because art students who are like even though they only have like 3 credit classes, their classes are like 500 level with like however much work they have to put into like sketching, and like they stay up all the time and they don't ever sleep.
A lot of work.
So like they want to make sure that people are living. But I've always been really good at like managing time and stuff. So
not just art majors, any class. If you're taking it the wrong 5, 6, 7
yeah, the wrong
classes
can be awful. But yeah, I know all the teachers. Well, I know of all the teachers that I'm going to be taking, and I haven't met one of them.
Oh.
And he's going to be my psych stats, or not my psych stats, my math teacher, and his basic math. So.
How many of those classes are actually in your major next year?
I think 4 of them.
So you plan on getting your whole degree in 2 years?
It's still technically 6 semesters. If you count like the summers and the winters, because like a summer and a winter equal a semester.
Right.
But, yeah.
How long you planned this within last year? You said your original advisor. Does that mean you're taking 7 classes this semester?
Yep. Yeah.
Oh. How you doing with that?
Really good. Yeah. I have 2 of my classes are with the same professor. For my major. There's 2 professors who are married, and she's the wife of the 2 who are married. And she actually like came up to me and apologized because she was like, "Hey, just so you know, your grade in my class is higher than it says on your midterm because I only inputted this 1 grade, so you're fine." And like I have all A's and B's, but I expected that I'd have an A in the class. And then she was like, "You have a B." And then she was like, "So you know, you're fine." And I'm like, "Okay, good, thank you." So.
Were you really worried about that? Did you find out that you had a lower grade on her records, or did she come to you before you actually found out?
I think I saw it, and like, I was okay with it because I knew it was midterm. Because like, as much as like, midterm grades are like a forecast of this is how you're doing. At the same time, like half my classes only had 1, maybe 2 tests at the time that midterms came out. So like I was okay with it, but then she was like, "Hey, by the way, you're still good." So I mean, I would have been okay with a B, but she knows that I like A's. So.
Did you find yourself always striving for that A?
Yeah, most of the time. I think I got senioritis this semester, which is why I have a couple B's. But, yeah. There's, like, I don't know, school to me is kind of like, I don't know, it's not really, like, whenever I think striving for, I think, like, kind of working hard for, but, like, school's kind of easier for me. Like, there's some subjects and, like, some teaching styles, like, the only class that I ever got a C for was art history. And literally what happened was it was a room full of, I think, 90 students. I think the class was, if it was full, it was 90, but not everyone was there all the time. And we sat in a dark room, and we looked at pictures, and this guy talked in a monotone voice about how this art was really interesting, and it's in this one place that I really don't remember. So that's my only C. And I'm still kind of mad at that. But, like, I don't know, mostly, like, I'm good at being able to tell, like, I'm good at looking at, okay, I have a test in, like, 2 weeks, I have a paper due this Tuesday, like, I'm good at, like, figuring out the time stuff, and then, like, if I have problems, one thing I love about all my professors that I've had is that they're really, like, if you have a problem and you come and talk to them, they will totally help you. Like, they will sit down and talk to you for, like, a good 2 hours to explain something if you don't understand it.
Okay.
And then you understand it. And then you can teach everybody else how to do that. So, yeah.
Very nice. You definitely have that direction that we were talking about last time. You also mentioned you have senioritis, but you're also putting yourself through 7 or 8 classes at once.
Senioritis means B's.
Senioritis really bringing you to B's, you say?
Yeah.
What's that senioritis feel like?
I mean, I've almost been late to a couple classes. Like, I've woken up some days and been like, yeah, I think that's 8 a.m. He doesn't take attendance. So, and I've always been like, I don't like being late to classes or like anything. And I think, is it A-type personality or something where like you like things where they go and how they go it, when they go it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Type B, more laid back.
Yeah.
Go with the flow. It's okay. It'll be all right.
Yeah.
Type
so
A.
I'm kind of getting like a bit of like the type B, which is funny because like parallelism with A grades, sure.
B
grades. But
good point.
Yeah, I've been kind of getting a bit of the I'm still on Dean's list.
Yeah.
So I must be doing something right.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I used to I do. Well, I say that I don't really have to try all the time for my grades and stuff. I do still, obviously, try for my classes and stuff. But, I've been able to, not stress myself out about this stuff. Because I used to stress out about it a lot. And then I'd be like, well, if I don't get 100%, then it doesn't matter. But, a 90 is an A here. And, I'd like to get 100s on everything. But, I think it was doing myself more harm than good. Stressing about, the 5-point difference, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So.
It also is all relevant to what's important to you. If you're okay with those A's, that's fine. But in the past, I've met some people that a B really throws them through an emotional loop.
Yeah.
And you're still okay with B's? If you finish this semester with all B's, how do you think that would make you feel?
Because I know some of the classes I'm because there are, you know how there's different, there's 100 levels, and there's 200 levels, and there's 300
your
levels.
Intros, then your upper class, your finals, your senior classes.
So the history, I'm not too great with history,
mm-hmm.
but, the teacher that I have, he's really cool, and I currently have, I think, an 89.
Okay.
But we took a test today. And we had a paper due last week. So I don't know what it is now. But, at the beginning of the semester, I probably would have been okay with being in that class. But the fact that I'm, literally 1 percentage point away, there's not really an excuse not to be able to get an A. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And then, which class? My child class, social child, it's interesting because I've had the teacher before, and all of our tests have always been super easy. They've paralleled what we talk about in class and the notes that we take. But the tests this semester are kind of weird. I don't know. She hasn't taught the class for a while, so it may be she's making new tests or she's going off of tests that she made however long. She said 5 years ago was the last time she taught the class. But, everyone in the class is kind of having problems getting good grades,
mm-hmm.
so I do have a B in it. But relatively, I know that there's only 3 people in the class of 30 who have an A. So, I'd like to get all A's, but, if I were to get a B in that kind of class, then I'd be okay-ish with it. But I'd rather have all A's. But I don't think I'd all B's. So, no.
A lot of people strive for the A. There's nothing wrong with striving for the A. As long as you're not hurting yourself doing it.
Yeah.
7 classes is a lot. It's a lot. That's already asking for special permission for this semester. Now you're asking for 8 next semester.
It's, as weird as it sounds, it's not as much as, the parallel that I did for my advisor this semester for the 7 classes
mm-hmm.
and for last year is, in high school, I took 9 classes. My mom didn't let me have a study hall at all. I was in professional girls choir, I did youth group, church, I was on a worship team, all this stuff, and I still had free time. And now it's I have 7 classes, but it's like, I have so much free time. It's weird. Because, like, I'll find myself sitting in my room and be like, you know, this is weird. I have so much free time. Like, I know a lot of people are, like, totally cool with, like, I'm okay, like, watching, like I said, I'm good watching Netflix for, like, a couple hours every week. But, like, if I find myself doing that, I'll, like, lose my mind. Because I like having stuff to do. It's like, a lot of my classes actually don't have homework. So, like we'll have, most of, like, the social classes will have papers, but they'll be, like, over, like, a month we have to write a paper. Or, like, we have an end project for the end of the semester. But, like, all my friends are, oh, I have homework, I have to write this, and, like, I have to study for this test, and
here you are.
I'm like,
what do you mean
give
you have
me
homework?
Like, so, yeah. I think it also depends on the classes, so.
Okay. Now, the senioritis, do you think it's more because you're coming to the end of school and you're tired of it? Or is it more that you're feeling a little burnout from taking so many classes for so long?
I think it's from seeing, like, I'm less than a year away from, like, this time next year I'll be in grad school. And, like, I'm already thinking of, like, we had a training with a lady from Hermitage House, and she's like, if you're a social major, and I have a friend who actually worked for Hermitage House, and he was like, yeah, it was super awesome, I did an internship there, and I talked to her, and she's like, yeah, if you have this experience, if this is your major, definitely, we'll most likely hire you, we'll pay you. Like, I already have, like, the optimistic of, hey, I might be able to do this, or I might do something else, like, equally as awesome. So, like, I think now that I'm able to, like, see the next bit, I'm just like, I just want to, like, hop over the fence and, like, actually get to that. So, I think it's
good that you have all these options are falling into your lap. That's very fortunate. And you seem to be accepting it, and you're grateful for it. You appreciate that. That's very important. Never lose track of how good it can feel to have that have your life fall into place.
Yeah, definitely.
And not taking it for granted. Well, I want to know a little bit more. I know you like to watch your Netflix. What else do you do to unwind? If you have all this extra time and you have all these courses and you talk about your residence, so you have a job, what do you do to keep yourself from just...
I have a Bible study that I go to, and I have a youth group that I help out with. I'm kind of on, like, a break from that, just because, like, they had a lot of leaders and stuff, so they were, like, the youth group's just starting out, so we only have, for the most recent time, we had 9, and for a youth group, that's, like, really, really small, and we had too many leaders, so some of us got put on a break, and we were just like, well, let's put it on a hold, do something else, so I've been helping out with that, not most recently, but, like, through the beginning of the semester. I have my Bible study, hang out with my friends, hang out with other staff, like the other RAs for the building. Yeah, we, one day, I think it was homecoming weekend, so probably almost a month, 3 weeks ago about, homecoming weekend, we went to breakfast, then... How did that go out? We went to breakfast/brunch. Then me and another one of them went to the football game. And then all of us met back up again. And then we went to dinner. And then all of us sat at the desk for desk duty. Even though there were only 3 of us scheduled. So it was like, it was kind of like, it's weird to notice that, like, it's good. But, like, to notice that you're working with somebody, but, like, you're also, like, friends with them. Because, like, I've worked places that it's just, like, you work with somebody, and you're not friends. You just happen to sit in the booth next to them, or you happen to make drinks next to them, something like that. But it's cool.
Or you're actually forming a bond with your coworkers.
Yeah, it's cool. It's fun.
So everything's falling into place, hopefully. You have your classes this semester. You have classes next semester. You're going to be taking summer courses. You said you wanted to start grad school. When do you plan on starting grad school?
In the fall.
Would you be able to do grad school and this opportunity at the Hermitage House?
I don't know. I think part of the grad program that I want to do, like, it allows for an internship one of the semesters.
Mm-hmm.
but I'm not sure which one or at what time, because I haven't gotten to grad school yet.
Right. It's understandable.
Yeah.
You don't always have all the answers.
Yeah, it's
It's kind of
weird.
good to know that you are human and you don't have all the answers, because it seems
True.
like you got yourself on a straight and narrow path. How much do you know about the position at the Hermitage House?
I talked to my friend who works there, and from what I understood vaguely, I looked on the website a little bit, but I didn't get to, like, they don't have that much of a description of it, other than, like, we'll be working with kids who are either troubled or at risk for, like, domestic or social issues, or if they've, like, had, like, a juvenile record, then we work with them, kind of, like, counsel them, and since I'm a school counselor, I want to focus on high school, and from what I understand, the kids go up to the age of high school. Like, I think some of middle school and high school, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So...
It's a wide population range.
And, like, I know whenever I was in high school, I was a lot younger than everybody in my grade. So, like, that'll also give me, like, even if, like, Hermitage House is working with high schoolers and middle schoolers, there's going to be some middle schoolers who, like, the age that they're at, there will be high schoolers, the age of middle schoolers, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll get to work with all ages.
All right.
So,
If you don't mind, I'm going to adjust my wheelchair to relieve some of the pressure on me. I don't want you to feel offended.
Okay.
And I didn't want to do it while you're talking. So I know you want to be a school counselor. You said you wanted to go for school counseling as grad school. What is the game plan when you graduate from college? Or from grad I'm sorry, I'm a little tongue-tied. What would you like to do when you graduate grad school with your school counseling degree?
Optimistically, I'd like to go into school counseling out of high school. I went to a private school, so, like, I'm more familiar with, like, and I was friends with my counselor. She was the only one for the entire school. Mm-hmm. So, like, we talked because she knew that I was kind of interested in it, just, like, to know what she does. So, like, I'm kind of familiar with the smaller school scenario of school counseling, but then, like, I know larger schools, like, there was, the public school near my house. It had, like, I think the graduating class when I graduated was 900, and my graduating class was 26. So that entire school, per the class, like, only the seniors had 3 guidance counselors to themselves. So, like, that would mean, like, if I was at a bigger school, then I'd potentially have 300 students.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it'd be cool, and it'd be totally different, but, like, I think I'd do better in, like, a smaller, like, a private school setting, or, like, not even, like, a private school, but, like, just a smaller school.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'd be able to, like, actually, like, know the students, like, be able to connect with them more.
So important you like that one-on-one connection.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. I didn't learn this until after I put myself through graduate school, that there's all kinds of different guidance counselors. Also, when I was in elementary school and middle school, the guidance counselor was kind of there just to help the students with any interpersonal issues that they were going through. In high school, guidance counselor moved more towards getting people on their path and helping them decide what they should be looking into for their future. What kind of guidance counselor do you want to be?
Kind of a mix of both. Like what I was saying with, like, my guidance counselor, she was a mix of both. Her actual degree was in science and, like, chemistry stuff, and then she had a minor in, or maybe it wasn't a minor, whatever the, like, equivalent, like, she had in grad school, like, her equivalent of whatever minor is in grad school. She, like, took some counseling classes.
She may have had a specialization
maybe,
or a more focused track.
Yeah. But, like, she did help, like, she definitely helped me, like, figure out if I wanted to go to college. Like, I took 2 years off before I came to school, because I didn't exactly 100% know where I wanted to go and stuff like that. So, like, she definitely helped me with college stuff, but, like, I know a lot of students had some other issues that weren't necessarily academic that, like, she would help them with. Like, she would meet with, like, if 2 students were having an issue together, she'd moderate it, and, like, give them advice or, like, see what they were thinking about the situation. point them in whatever correct direction, or whatever. Like she just explained to them like, these are your options. What are you gonna do about it? So she was, I think the year after they made a new position, which is called the Dean of Students, which dealt more with like that kind of stuff, like if two students were having an issue, or if one student was being disrespectful to teachers or something. But whenever she was my guidance counselor, it was kind of like a mix of what you were saying, like in middle school and elementary school versus the high school. So kind of both.
Best of both worlds.
Yeah.
All right. You plan on starting that in the fall after such a very difficult, not yet necessarily difficult, but a very time-consuming semester. What would you do if come next semester, right before the semester starts, a couple of those courses aren't offered, so you're not able to take them?
What do you mean?
Like, you're going to take 8 classes next semester.
Mm-hmm.
You find out over the break that not enough people signed up for 2 of those courses. Now you're forced to take 5 courses, and only 5 courses. And then over the summer, because it's quite often, that classes will be shut down in the summertime, that you can't take a few classes over the summer. Now your whole 2-year plan has been thrown off.
True. Yeah. The classes that I'm taking, like it could happen possibly that the classes would be, like, not filled, but they're not, like, minor classes, if that makes sense. Like, I think the smallest one will probably be my capstone class, which will probably have 20 kids in it. But, like, some of the classes that I'm taking, they're only offered in spring semesters. So, like, there are people who've been waiting to take those classes. And then I'm filling the last couple ones of my core classes, which are, like so-called freshman classes, if that makes sense. Because I took different freshman classes. Right. So, like, they could fill, like, they could, like, cancel them. But
how important is it to you, this 2-year program, this 2-year life plan of yours? If you have to come back for a following semester, what does that do? How would that make you feel inside, knowing that your whole 2-year plan that you tried really hard for fell apart, and there's not really anything you can do about it?
Yeah, I mean, it would suck. Like, really bad.
It would be a little disappointing.
Yeah. I mean, like, the only thing that I'd be worried about is that, like, depending on what classes, like, if, like, only one of them, like, if, for some reason, like, my capstone class, only 5 people signed up for it, and you have to have 6 people in it, if that class got canceled, then I could take it in the fall, but then, like, financial aid doesn't cover only one class. You have to take 4 classes, I think, and then at least half of them have to be, like, actual sit-down in classroom class. So, yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Why is it important to get out of here in 2 years?
Not really, like, I think people keep, like, thinking that it's, like, Ella wants to get out of here in 2 years, but, like...
Not that you want, but obviously it's important to you. You're driving yourself to the point where you're not forcing yourself, but you're naturally earning these A's because you're putting the time and effort into it. You're not taking this lightly. You have a plan and a backup plan for a lot of the things that we're talking about.
Yeah. So
what is it that made you decide, I'm going to get through this in 2 years?
I don't really like dilly-dallying, as it were. Like, if...
Sounds like a type A personality.
Yeah, probably. Like, I don't know, like, I do have, like, the bits that I'm just like, I'm not going to do anything, I'm going to watch Netflix all day. Like, there was definitely a Saturday at the beginning of the semester that I did not get out of bed. I just watched Netflix all day. But, like, overall, if I can be doing something, then I want to be able to do it, and, like, I want to be able to do my best, and, like, do everything that I can do. Does that make sense? Like, I don't want to, like, just because I didn't do something, I don't want to miss doing something else later. So, yeah.
What do you mean by that? You don't want to
I
miss
don't know,
something
like-
else later.
Like, this is not related whatsoever, but
You can talk about whatever you want.
like it's kind of related. Bear with me because it's like kind of like an analogy.
So
of
you're going
this.
to take me on a journey?
I'm gonna take you
I'll
on a
follow.
journey. Okay, so do you know Glacier National Park?
Mhm.
They said I'm taking my national parks class. We were talking about it.
Apologies.
It's okay. We're talking about like the different national parks, and I've known about Glacier, which it looks super cool if you've ever seen pictures.
Mm-hmm.
But then like in like a passing comment, my professor was like, and yeah, if you want to see the glaciers, then you have to go within the next 15 years because they're all going to be gone in 15 years because they're going to melt due to global warming. Which, like, I know there's like a whole political thing about global warming, but the glaciers are melting in Glacier Park. So in Glacier Park, there is global warming. Does that make sense? So, like, if, like, I would keep putting off going to Glacier Park, then I'd miss the opportunity to see the glaciers. Does that make sense? So, like, kind of like along the same thing. Like, not specifically, like, I want to get out of school because I want to see Glacier Park. But, like, if, like, I get out of school later than I would have thought, and then, or, like, if I was approached, like, with an opportunity for a job, because, like, I know the school that I went to, they get new counselors, they get a new counselor, like, every 5 or 6 years. So, like, if I were to miss that, as an example, I don't know if I want to teach there. I don't think I'd want to teach there. But, like, I don't want to, like, have to use the excuse of I can't because I'm in school. Because, like, I know that's, like, sometimes you can use that as, like, you get discounts because you're a student. You get, like, little ladies being like, oh, you're in college, let me make you lunch on a Sunday afternoon because I know you're poor. But, like, I don't want to miss something because of the excuse I can't. I'm in school. Does that make sense?
It does, but do you think it's school, or is it just, have you oftentimes in your life, can you think of any situations where that's happened to you? Or not necessarily school, but you missed something because you were busy doing something else?
Yeah. I almost went to Japan in my 10th grade year.
Mhm.
And then I decided that I didn't want to go, or I did want to go, but I decided not to go because I wanted to go to a concert, which I didn't even end up going to the concert. But it was going to be like a study abroad program in Japan. We were going to get to like live with Japanese families and stuff, and I was just like, nah, I have tickets to a concert, so, and then I didn't go to the concert, so I was kind of like, but like, if I could go back, I would totally go to Japan, because that's like an awesome thing. Like, I used to like, my dad bagpipes, and he bagpipes Carnegie Mellon University's graduation, so like, I've been to different countries. Like, I went to Greece in 5th grade, or yeah, at the end of 5th grade, I went to Greece, and then I've been to Scotland. Been to Germany with the choir that I was with. When?
Germany with a choir. It's pretty fun.
It was Germany, Austria, and Hungary. Yeah, it was really cool. But, like, okay, so for, like, with the choir, I dropped out my 11th grade year because I wanted to, like, focus on my schooling and stuff, and I just was like, I'm not going to go. I'm not going to stay with the choir. I'd already been with it for 5 years, so it was like, and most of my friends were graduating, so I was just like, I'll just step out. And then the next year they went to England, because I wasn't with the choir. So, yeah.
So instead of being in the choir, you chose being in school. You missed that.
Yeah.
And I bet it would burn a little bit not being able to go to England. That's a pretty nice place to go.
Well,
especially as a 12th grader.
Well, I've been to England. I went to England in...
Oh, you also have been to England.
Yeah. But, like, when did I go? I went in 6th grade, I think. And, like, I know, thinking back to, like, whenever I was in Greece in 5th grade, like, I don't remember or appreciate, like, I can, like, consciously think, like, first off, I don't remember a lot of the stuff that I did.
Mm-hmm.
And then the stuff that I remember doing, I didn't appreciate it at the time, so I didn't get everything out of it that I could.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, obviously 6th graders don't really appreciate all the things in life, but also whenever I was in England, I know that I didn't appreciate all of it, so I could kind of beat myself up for that, but then I could have gone in my senior year, but I didn't. So.
I understand. My 10th grade year, we went to Toronto and we got to go to the Hockey Hall of Fame. I'm a huge hockey fan now, and that year the actual Stanley Cup was there. It was during a lockout. And I was like, whatever, I don't want to see that. I want to hang out with my friends instead. My dad was really disappointed. Like, come on, this is history. And looking back now, I'm kicking myself for not being able a chance to go and actually see the real Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
Could have touched it. And I decided, no, I'd rather go hang out in a mall, in a food court somewhere instead. So it's almost like a little bit of a regret.
Yeah. I guess I just don't want to regret stuff. Yeah.
You don't want to regret?
Mm-hmm.
What's the biggest thing in your life that you regret? You're only 20-something, so you don't have that much to go on. But in your life...
I have 21 years of stuff, so, I don't know. Like...
No matter how big or small it is, when in your mind... If you have a list of regrets, give me something that's on that list. Preferably something higher to the top and not, I ate Cinnamon Toast Crunch this morning when I should have had Captain Crunch.
You should have eaten Captain Crunch.
I'm a Cinnamon Toast Crunch fan myself.
Well, okay, so, like, I'm gonna cop out, but I'll explain why. Like, because there's been stuff that I've done in my life that, like, totally not the right choice of stuff to do, but, like, I know that, like, because I did that, I'm who I am, if that makes sense. Like, I took 2 years off before I came to college. And, like, I could be graduating grad school this summer instead of graduating undergraduate this year. But because I didn't...
Or you could have taken a normal course and still be graduating on time. And maybe not have wanted to pull your hair out as much.
Yeah. But because I didn't come to school immediately, I got to work for Starbucks. I got to have a year of being a nanny and working in retail, and like I got to make friends that there's no way in heck I would have met if I'd been up here. But at the same time, like, I could have met people here who I didn't meet because I was down there. But, like, I don't know if I actually regret anything. Because, like...
So I'm going to challenge you a little bit there. You have a great point. There's a lot of other options you could have used during that time, but do you actually regret taking 2 years off?
Okay.
So, give me something that you truly regret.
I'm like trying to play a video of my life.
It could seem minor. Maybe you wronged somebody. Maybe you made the wrong decision that you wish, like, oh, why did I do that?
Probably... I didn't do the musical my senior year.
Okay.
Yeah. But I totally could have.
Totally.
Yeah. Well, because I was in the musical the year before, and I just didn't do it senior year.
Why did you choose not to do it?
Because I wanted to do school stuff. So, I took, like I was saying, my mom wouldn't let me take study halls, so I had the 9 classes. And, like, the way... I don't know if it's... Because I've thought this before, but, like, how I am with school here, like, whenever I compare it to my high school stuff, it's not nearly as rigorous, if that makes sense. Like, because my school was really... Like, it wasn't like everyone was really, really, really smart, but the teachers, like, pushed us to do our best. So, like, the classes were a lot harder than college classes, if that makes sense. Which doesn't make sense at all.
Oh.
But, like, a lot of my senior year classes were kind of like, I actually wanted to make sure that I put the time in, that I could get all A's, and I did get all A's. But, yeah. Probably not doing musical. Because I totally could have graduated with, like, half A's and half B's and been in musical. So.
What was the musical that year?
Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. I also kind of disagreed with it because our school had, like, 50 girls who would be in the musical and only 13 guys. Which...
Looks like Joseph was a man.
Yeah, so... But, like, do you know the story of Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat?
Not 100%.
It's from the Bible, but it's a musical version of it. And it's Jesse, and his 12 sons. So literally all the boys who were in the musical were Jesse and his 12 sons, and then they were double cast of all the other guy parts. So, like, it's kind of weird.
Was performing, was that important to you growing up?
Yeah.
I just want to know why missing that musical really was a regret that you feel. Out of your 21 years of living, the only regret you can think of is not being able to sing in Joseph and the Technicolor Dreamcoat, your 12th grade year. Is there some significance, or just, do you feel like you missed out on something?
Yeah, probably. Like, I don't know, like, my entire family's, like, performed and stuff. Like, I've sung all my life. And then, like, my dad has a theater minor from CMU, which is, like, a really good program. But, like, I've always acted, and, like, I just didn't do it senior year, which is kind of weird. So, like, I've always either sung or acted, and I didn't do either senior year. Oh, I was in our school choir, but that was kind of rocky because our choir director left halfway through the year, and we didn't get a new choir director until, like, a week before graduation. So it was kind of like, yeah, kind of singing. I mean, I'm in the room with people who I sing with in a study hall, which now we have music theory classes, which is kind of weird. So, yeah.
I'm definitely getting to understand what's driving you. And although sometimes it can be troublesome, it doesn't seem to be too troublesome for you. It doesn't seem to be problematic, but you're definitely driving yourself very hard because you don't want to regret anything.
No.
You got to make sure that pushing yourself so hard so you don't regret anything doesn't become a regret in itself.
Yeah, true.
And that sounds very heady, but it's true.
No, it makes sense.
I mean, you want to make sure that you get done with school, so whenever the glaciers are still there when you're done. But I want to make sure that college is a very cool experience, that you don't miss something out, that you don't miss out on something while you're trying to rush through it. Because then you'll be 30, and then you'll be regretting that you didn't spend more time in your 20s.
Yeah, true.
How did you get along with your family and your friends with this whole type A, gotta go and push myself personality?
I don't really get along with my family, per se. Well, my mom, I think I get along with my mom the most, and she's always been, like, she, like, constantly, she'll, like, verbally say, like, I know Ella's gonna do something great, like, because I don't ever want to stop doing stuff, but since I'm the youngest, I think probably, well, since I'm a social major, this is my social, like, hindsight bias of, like, oh, this is what actually was happening when I was a kid. Like, a trait of most youngest children is that they, like, want to show off and they want to, like, get attention. But, like, I'm sure that I did it some while I was little, but that wasn't my conscious, like, that's not my conscious of why I want to keep doing stuff. But I think probably my siblings thought that's what I wanted. So, like, my oldest brother and I never got along. Like, I don't know why we never got along. But then...
you guys are 2 years apart. Every brother and sister's 2 years apart, so they make him 8 years older than you.
6 years.
6 years.
6 years. So he and I never got along. And then my sister's really girly. And I'm not very girly. I was a lot more tomboyish when I was little. Like, not so much as combat boots and stuff, but, like, all my best friends were boys. Like, I would play football after church with all my friends who were guys. Like, I just had, like, I connected more with guys than with girls, and my sisters, like, pink and butterflies and all that. And
Dresses and flowers and your
exactly.
mud and football.
Exactly. So, I mean, like, we're civil, but, like, we don't braid each other's hair, if that makes sense. And then me and my next brother, we used to be really good, and then we started having,
That's the one that goes here?
Yeah. We used to be really good together, like, with friends and stuff, but then, since we were homeschooled, we were close enough in age, my mom decided that she was just going to teach us the same curriculum. So, I was 2 years ahead. He was at, like, the right point, but in his mind, this is still, I don't know this, but this is me doing the social thing, is, like, probably, I think, in his mind, it was, he's 2 years behind because he's working at the same pace as me. So, like, I think the first time that I remember it was, he was in 2nd grade. So I was kindergarten.
Yeah.
See, I don't remember the orders because I didn't actually have, like, form. This is the kindergarten room. This is the 1st grade room.
Just homeschool.
Yeah.
So your first year, pretty much.
My first year. He had a math book, and I remember specifically it was 2nd grade. It was a back of math, and it had a frog on it. Like, I don't remember what kind of math it was. It was probably, like, what is 1 + 1? But we were in the same math book. So from then until his senior year of high school, we had classes together. And since I will get an A. Like, I'm not getting it to spite whoever I'm in the class with, but I'm going to get an A because that's what I do. And he's not an A student, which is totally fine. He's, like, probably, like, a B student. But, like, the fact that I go home and say, Mom, I got an A, and he'd be like, I got a B. And that kind of, like, understandably brings you kind of suck at being a sister kind of.
I don't know about that.
Well, but, you know what I mean, like, for kids and stuff, and, like, growing up with that, so, yeah.
Definitely you trying to get inside their mind, that's not bad. And you know what? I'm glad that you brought that up, because that's something I would like to discuss with you, if you don't mind, in the future. It's just to get a little bit more feel, because you have yourself a very good level head. You know where you're going. I want to talk more about the whole making sure that you don't let regret rule your life, and also jump into a little bit more about your family. But we've already been talking for a little bit of time, so I think this is a great time to close up. And maybe the next time we get a chance to speak with each other at the next session, we'll talk about the family dynamic a little bit, and see if I can help you get inside their heads, because you're doing a pretty good job of getting inside their heads.
Okay, cool. That'd be awesome.
All right. Thank you very much, Ella. Good job.
Definitely. I'll see you in a week.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome.
Take care.
Later.
Look at the spider. Nailed it.
I was like, I think it'd be a week, right?
Yeah, right. Wherever we want.
See you, tomorrow?
Yeah, right. That's good. We didn't mention tomorrow.